Revelations 4, beginning in verse 1. After this I looked, and behold a door standing open in heaven. And the first voice which I had heard speaking to me like a trumpet said, Come up here, and I will show you what must first take place after this. Paul, when he was writing in his epistles, said, I know a man, whether in body or out of body I do not know, was caught up to the third heaven, and was shown mysteries which are not lawful to utter. There is a certain disconnect when it comes to some of these passages. When we can take a passage such as this, and this whole book, where John, the Revelator, says clearly, at once I was in the Spirit, and behold, a throne stood in heaven, with one seated on the throne. And he goes on to describe that throne, and he goes on in this vision, and the things that he was shown, that he was permitted to reveal to us, to write down. There are some things in the book, such as the seven thunders, what they spoke, he was told not to write down. But there is a great disconnect when we can have such a rich history of revelation, of a spirit of revelation, of being caught up to the third heaven by the self-same Spirit. And yet when we can come to Revelation 4 here and interpret this as some arcane way of expressing even a rapture, clearly what's being expressed here is the language of a heavenly encounter. John hears a voice, and it speaks to him, says, come up here. Come up where? Come up into heaven. Come up into higher into the Spirit. I don't know. It doesn't say. But he was immediately in the Spirit. He was revealed things in that heavenly encounter. This is not expressing a rapture. This is simply the circumstances that were going on when he was having the vision. This is the language of a heavenly encounter that John was encountering here. And while not everyone has to have this type of experience, this is the experience of prophets. Even Ezekiel, it says he was caught up by a lock of the hair, brought to the river Kebar. He was brought places in the Spirit. He was brought in the temple, shown profane things. But if a church doesn't understand heavenly encounters, if they don't understand the ongoing revelatory nature of the Christian experience, if they take this merely as a book of words and not a living document, if they don't have experience themselves, they often miss what's going on here. And I don't want to say make up, but is there a better word? I don't know. This is the language of his encounter. He was somewhere and he saw a vision. He saw something. Just like Peter, when he was on the rooftop, he saw the sheet come down. When Paul was in his in praying, when he was blind, or actually when Paul was blind, Cornelius clearly saw an angel. These are the words and the language of revelation. Well, literally, these are revelatory experiences that people were having. He literally saw these things. We miss something when we bring this back down to a human level, when we do not accept them for what they are. He was caught up in a trance, a vision, I don't care what you call it. He was caught up in a rapture. Again, pick your words. It doesn't say, it's all speculation, but he was caught up in a heavenly experience. At once I was in the Spirit. And perhaps those who don't have these experiences need an explanation that makes sense to them. I don't know. But it doesn't make it right. It is spiritual language. It is spiritually discerned. It's simply what happened to John. They are the narrative of how the revelation came to him. And that's all. Nothing more, nothing less.